One of the greatest media organizations in U.S. history was the Liberator, launched in Boston in 1831 and published until the Constitution was amended and slavery was abolished. The paper was founded by a Canadian-born Christian, William Lloyd Garrison, who credited an 1826 Presbyterian Reverend John Rankin's book, Letters on Slavery, for igniting him to the anti-slavery cause. Garrison, he rejected the validity of any government engaged in war, imperialism, or slavery, and he wrote, quote, "Wherever there's a human being, I see God-given rights inherent in that being, whatever may be the sex or complexion." Now, there were many calls for moderation and compromise with the slavers, to which Garrison wrote, "I am aware that many object to the severity of my language. But is there not cause for severity? I will be as harsh as truth and as uncompromising as justice. On this subject, I do not wish to think or speak or write with moderation. Tell a man whose house is on fire to give a moderate alarm. Tell him to moderately rescue his wife from the hands of the ravisher. Tell the mother to gradually extricate her babe from the fire into which it has fallen. But urge me not to use moderation in a cause like the present. I am in earnest. I will not equivocate. I will not excuse. And I will not retreat a single inch. And I will be heard." Confederates and their sympathizers, they burned Garrison in effigy. A gallows was erected in front of his office, but Garrison didn't stop. He wrote his editorials, setting them directly in type. He didn't even sketch out his thoughts first. Benefactors paid for copies to land on the doorsteps of state legislators, governors, congressmen, and at the White House. Garrison demanded immediate and total emancipation, ridiculing the slavers' insane demands for compensation. North Carolina indicted him for incendiary material. The Georgia legislature offered a small fortune for his capture. Confederate mobs stormed his anti-slavery meetings, his offices. They assaulted his lecturers. They burned his pamphlets. They destroyed his printing presses. One time, they dragged him personally through the streets toward Boston Common by a rope until the mayor intervened. But Garrison would not stop. He published the trial and execution of anti-slavery hero John Brown. The great American abolitionist Frederick Douglass said, "No face and form ever impressed me with such sentiments as did those of William Lloyd Garrison." For Frederick Douglass, the Liberator held a place in his heart second only to the Bible. And after the Civil War was over, and the 13th time the Constitution was amended, Garrison felt he could publish the last issue of the Liberator, leaving what remains to be done to complete the work of emancipation to other instrumentalities, with millions instead of hundreds for allies. But Frederick Douglass warned, the battle had not yet been won. They must give all Americans a universal right to vote. "I fear," Douglass proclaimed, "that if we fail to do this now, if abolitionists fail to press it now, we may not see for centuries to come the same disposition that exists at this moment. It would be another 100 years before the country would see a Voting Rights Act, and another 100 years of challenges to its enforcement that continue to this day."